This will be a new series. It's going to be called Total Drama Ultimate Season. We will be having 8 of each season compete, even including the redonkulous race, and we will see who will come out on top. You look over in the first team and this is who, and this is then you look over at the next team. Now you have the TDRI cast. Then you look over for the third time, and it's the Pakatu Island cast. The Total Drama Pakatu Island team consists of these 8 contestants. And for the final team, the Reboot cast, it consists of, we have Total Drama Reboot cast. These are our 4 teams, and there will only be one winner in the end. Let's carry on to episode 1. On the TD Total Drama Island cast, the first interactions are Noah and Owen. You see Noah and Owen talking strategy. Noah telling Owen that they have to get Alejandro out. Then it cuts to Alejandro and Heather, and Alejandro's like, we gotta vote out the big threats. Then it cuts over to this over here, Duncan trying to get Courtney, but then Courtney being like, no, and Gwen being like, yeah, get away. And then finally, we just have Lashana probably chilling with them. And that's a TRI cast drama. TDRI cast consists of Joe, Lightning, and Scott, the villains of the season. Mike, Cameron, and Zoe, the trio, were the main characters of the season. And then B and Dawn, the redemption stories. Scott immediately wants Dawn and B out for being probably the biggest threats on the team, just based on their abilities alone. These two are hesitant to work together, but they say okay. These 3 probably are all just talking, and then B walks over and probably makes friends with Cameron, and Dawn probably makes friends with them too. And that's all for the TDRI cast. The Pakatu Island cast, the drama consists of Sammy, Jasmine, and Sean all working together, and then Ella would come over here and try and work with them, and they would say yes. Max would go over here. Sky would basically collect these 3, because Sky needs the votes against this alliance. Anyways, and that's all for the TP. I can't speak right now. TDI. Total Drama Pakatu Island. I'm tired of saying the initials. Anyways, time for the reboot. Probably the cast you guys are most surprised by being picked. First, we have Ripper and Z chilling. And then Wayne and Damien probably go over there too. They make like a bros pact. Then, it's Julia and MK working together trying to be villainous and targeting Priya and Caleb. Then you got Priya and Caleb targeting MK and Julia. And they're a working couple now. Now for the challenge. Today, campers, the challenge will be a game of Truth or Dare. How it will work. Another team's person will ask someone on this team, Truth or Dare. If they pick Dare, they'll have to do a dare. But if they pick Truth, then they'll have to tell a truth. And the person that picked them gets to say whatever they want. Or do whatever they want. And if they refuse, they're out. First team to have all their members out will lose. First, TDI TDI will choose someone to be their picker. That picker will now be out of the challenge. TDI probably picks Alejandro for being the most manipulative. TDRI probably picks Scott for the same reason. TDPI probably picks Max since he's the only one that wants to do it. And then TDR probably picks MK or Julia. I would say MK does this challenge. Alejandro asks Cameron, truth or dare. Cameron picks truth. Alejandro asks, who do you like more, Mike or Zoe? And Cameron eventually just says, I'm not doing that. Okay, now Scott picks Ella on TDPI, and Scott asks, who do you hate the most? And Ella eventually answers Max for being rude. Max chooses Z for this team. He asks, why are you so evil? Z's just like, I'm not evil. And then Z gets it right. Then Alejandro asks for this team. He asks Lightning, do you respect Joe as a player? Lightning says no. Gets it wrong. And gets out. Scott asks Leonard, and Leonard takes a dare. Scott says, do a magic trick. And he's not able to do it. Womp womp. TDPI, Max now chooses Wayne and asks him, who do you like more, Ripper and Z or Raj? And he says Raj, making these two angry now. Alejandro picks B and says, why do you not like talking? B doesn't answer. Scott asks Ella again, who do you like more, Topher or Sammy? Ella finally confesses that she likes Topher more and gets it correct. Max now asks Julia if she likes MK. She says no, gets it wrong. Alejandro picks, oh crap, I forgot. I'll let him, MK now ask Owen, is Noah your best friend? Yes. And then we'll catch up on the next 2 rounds since I forgot about that. Then she asks Duncan, do you like Gwen? He's like, obviously, then gets out. And then finally, this round, she asks Lashana, are you friends with Courtney? She says yes, and then gets out. Alejandro asks Zoe, do you like Joe? She says no, passes. Scott asks Sean, what do you want more, Jasmine or the money? Sean says Jasmine. He gets it correct. Max asks Caleb, do you love Priya? Caleb says, yes. Then gets it no. And Chris says it's a half truth, half lie. Priya gives him the death stare, but Chris says, we'll count it out anyways. MK now asks Courtney if she likes Duncan. She says no, gets out. Alejandro now picks Joe and asks, are you willing to vote Scott? Joe says no, gets out. Scott now asks Topher and says, do you like Chris or do you want to just be a host? Topher says, I just want to be a host. Gets it wrong. No, not like, but Topher's like a role model, basically. Is Chris your role model? Max now asks Priya, do you like Caleb back after the answer he gave? Priya says yes, and then gets it wrong. Z asks Noah and Owen if they want to vote Alejandro out. They say no. Boom. Alejandro asks Mike and Zoe if if Scott is as bad as he seems. They say yes, but then get out. Scott asks Sean and Sky if they would first Scott asks Sky, do you like Dave? She says no, gets out. Then she asks Amy, are you and Amy friends now? She says yes, and then gets out. Max now says, Ripper and Damien, are you guys friends? No. Now MK asks these two, are you guys friends? No, yes. Gwen gets out. Alejandro now asks Dawn, are you and Scott, do you have a crush on the island? She says no, gets out. That means TDRI will be going to elimination. I will see you guys at elimination. Elimination. Chris asked Chef, name reasons why people should go home. Scott, you had the most important role of getting people out, and you failed, obviously. B, you didn't even answer your question. At least everyone else gave it a shot. Mike and Zoe, you guys have been really big threats in all seasons you've been in. And Dawn, you were the final person for your team and you fumbled. Now, people that are safe are Dawn, Lightning, Mike, B, Cameron, Joe. And the final marshmallow of the night goes to Scott. Zoe, you've been eliminated. And Zoe says, what? And Mike and Cameron say, wait, that doesn't make sense. We didn't vote Zoe. And they're like, well, bye, Zoe. They give a goodbye. Mike and Zoe kiss, and Cameron gives Zoe a slight hug. How'd the votes go? Dawn voted for Joe for being the common target. No, Dawn voted for Scott because that's their common target. Lightning voted for Zoe for being Scott's common target, for being Scott's most threatening player. B voted Scott for being Scott. Joe voted Zoe for being Scott's rival. Cameron voted Zoe because Cameron was getting scared and he thought he might get eliminated. Mike voted for Scott. And finally, Scott voted for Zoe. And Zoe voted for Cameron for being suspicious during that one challenge. That's how the votes went. And this concludes episode 1 of Total Drama Ultimate Island.